Alright, back in front of the mill. I cleaned up the shop this morning, vacuumed all the chips. Yay! It's as clean as I suppose this shop gets. Trimmed the mill, so we are dead nuts on, square, parallel, I guess you'd say it, to the vise. So right now what I'm doing is drilling all my tap size holes for the large and the small, since they all use the same screws. Got a couple done here. Basically I just got a 98 thousandths drill bit sitting in there, and that'll be for a 440 screw tapping in here. So biggest thing I deal with drilling holes, water jet. With the place that I'm getting it done at Great Lakes, he starts the cut for the hole, and I just have him do a spot hole, and he does it in a circle. Well, one side is round, one side is not. You need to drill from the perfectly round side, which is usually the bigger side from what I've found from measuring it out. That will give you a parallel to the flat hole through for the most part. It's reasonable, so it's not too bad, especially when you're just doing through holes like this, or tap holes. You have a little bit of wiggle room. So yeah, I'm drilling a 98 thousandths hole through these. These ones will be a 79 thousandths hole for the clips, because those are 2-56 holes, and these ones, like I said, are 440s. So biggest thing I do, I try to start at a portion on the frame that's not going to, well, first thing, safety. Safety glasses, no gloves, stuff like that. Honestly, I'll be taking my ring off too. Something to prevent helicoptering, which is when the drill bit catches and it wants to spin it around. This will keep it from spinning around. Hopefully it won't break the drill bit, but sometimes it does if it catches. And the biggest thing with drilling multiple holes on the same surface is you want to keep them straight and parallel. When you drill that first hole, there's going to be a burr on the opposite side. So what I do is I drag the disc sander over here. That's why it's mobile. I leave it running, and when I drill a hole, I just touch it off on here, knock the burr off, wipe it off, drill the next hole. Saves a lot of hassle, especially because when you drill that hole and you get that burr, when you move to this one, see how it's sitting on the vise here, it's going to cant it up a little bit, and then that hole is going to be angled. So just try to keep those straight. Little things like that help a lot, especially with folders, because things need to really be straight and parallel with these. So I'm going to drill all these holes, and then the non-lock side frames, I'll drill all my through holes, get everything nice and flat and parallel, and then I'll drill my clip holes to tap size. And from there, I will set up my tapping head in the mill, and I'll start tapping everything in the 440, and then I'll tap all the 256s. So you'll probably see the tapping head set up here shortly. Quick note for all you guys that are deciding to get into folders and stuff. Always take your calipers and measure your drill bits. I organize all my drill bits in a little section, all by inches, but you screw up every once in a while, so really always measure your drill bits. And I'm not doing too bad. I've got these titanium nitrate coated drill bits. They're like 30 cents a piece. I buy them 10, 20 at a time, but I've got almost half of those done with one drill bit, and it just went dull and hardened up or softened up on me, so I just swapped drill bits. So 2 drill bits for drilling 4 holes in every frame. That's not too bad. So keep that in mind. Measure your drill bits. Okay, so I'm on to tapping. I spent the day drilling holes. I finished up the last of the holes in the clips, and now I've got my old Etco tapping head rigged up here. I gotta clean this thing up. I got it off eBay for 35 bucks of all things. That's just incredibly cheap, because they're usually $200-300. This is the original version of the Porcooner tapping head, and this one does 0 to 10 size taps. So I've got a 440 tap in there, brand new one. Got it filled with oil. It's got some centrifugal clutches in there, and basically you push down and it'll spin into the part, and then once it stops, there's a clutch in here. It'll stop, and then when you pull out, it pulls this thing down and it reverses and backs out of the hole, and then you push it down until you actually make it all the way through the part. I've got it rigged up here, sliding up and down this parallel, so that I don't have to hold on to it and I can hold on to the part. And basically what I do is I just flip it on about 700-800 RPM, feed it down with some Tap Magic, which is always awesome for titanium. and feed it down in here, back it out, feed it down in, back it out until it goes all the way through. Clean the tap, start on the next hole. It'll probably take me all day to tap all these holes, so I'll just show you how it goes, and I won't make you stand here all day. And sorry, I had to put a piece of pegboard up so you could actually see what I'm doing. So it might be a bit loud, guys. Voila, I have a tapped hole. Pretty simple. I need a better way to clamp these parts down so I don't have to hold them on, so I'll probably work on that real quick, but that's it, guys. Pretty easy. Okay, so to be honest with you guys, this is the first time I've ever actually used a tapping head. I mean, when I got this thing, I fiddled around with it for a few minutes and I just stuck it in a drawer, because most of the time it's not worth setting up in the mill to do like couple of folders, because I can tap them by hand just as fast, I figured. Honestly, I gotta tell you, this thing, I can tap a hole in 5 seconds, which is amazing to me because I tap by hand and it takes me at least 2 minutes, maybe 1-2 minutes to tap by hand. This thing's awesome. So if you guys get a chance, it's great. I've already tapped half of the mini sides. That's 4 holes per folder in just a couple of minutes, and honestly, the tap's not hot. I just put a dab of oil on it, and I've yet to break a tap, which is awesome because, I mean, tapping things by hand, you break them all the time. So that saves me a lot of time right there. So I recommend it. Check on eBay. These things are dirt cheap. I paid 35 bucks with shipping for this, and this thing is from the 30s. So, and it still works perfectly. I pulled it apart and cleaned all the gunk out of the inside. It works awesome. I highly recommend a tapping head, either a Tapmatic or a Porcooner, or if you can get one of these old Etcos. Just make sure you get a 0 to 10. That'll take care of all the taps you need for folders. Hey guys, Jake Hoback Knives. I just want to do a shout out to tapping heads. I freaking love them. I just picked up this Etco 0 to 10. It's like from the 30s. This thing is epic. It makes tapping holes so easy. It's ridiculous. It's not even a challenge at all. It saves me hours of time. So I just got a quick setup. I'm going to set this thing up on a drill press just by itself with a whole jig and an oiling system, so I don't even have to do anything. I just pull the handle. But I'll show you how quick it is. Got a Warhorse I'm working on. I got 4 holes to tap. Should take me maybe a minute. All I got to do is turn it on and brush some oil on it. As you can see, it takes me under a minute, maybe 30 seconds to do 4, and those are 4-40 holes. That's amazing. I've used the same tap on like 200 holes so far, and it's still fairly sharp, and it's not even hot. That's amazing compared to hand tapping things. It's ridiculous. I recommend you get one of these. Let's see if I can zoom in here so you can read that. That is a model number 2 tapper by Etco, E-T-T-C-O tool. It's probably, I think this one was built in the 30s. They built these, and then Porcooner bought them out. Porcooner tapping head is a little larger than this. This is roughly the size of my fist or so. It's just got a little rod that I built to slide in there to stop it from turning. And I just put a zip tie real loose on there so it'll slide up and down, but it won't be able to go anywhere. When I build a setup on a drill press, I'll build a mount so that hooks right into the drill press. But I had to put a couple adapters on here because I think it was like an Morse Taper 2, so I adapted it to an R8 collar so I can just put it in there. This thing is awesome. I recommend it, guys. Definitely. And it's auto reversing, so when you pull the handle up, it just reverses, as you saw. Have a good one, guys. Okay, so I know how you guys like shots of everything, even if it's not even that interesting to me. So I am done drilling all the holes in the back spacers, done drilling and tapping the clips, done drilling and tapping the frames. Now I'm counterboring. I've got the holes counterbored for the frame holes on all these frames. There. Now what I'm doing is I'm doing something a little bit different. I kind of wanted to mix things up a little. For the clips, I drilled and tapped the clip actually for a 440 screw. Now this is the inside of the frame. Let me set this up here. Sorry. Forethought on my part would have been nice. At least I got it on the tripod, but it won't hold itself up. Okay, so this is the inside. These little screws are 440 Torx cap screws. They sink down inside the inside of the frame to where you cannot see them. Then you screw the clip to it. I'm going to do some milling, some creative milling on this clip, so all you'll see is the very bottom or top of the screw in this case sticking out. They'll be red Loctited, so you don't have to worry about tightening them up or anything like that, but I thought it looked kind of cool. You won't see any visible head of a screw. It'll just be the bottom of the thread, and you honestly won't be able to see that very well, so it'll be kind of a little hidden. I thought it'd be a little unique for y'all, so thought maybe you would enjoy that. So currently over at Yonder Mill, I am counterboring all the large ones, and then I'm on to the, let's see, I already drilled out the detent. I got to counterbore a 3/16 hole for the pivot, or the stop pin, and then I got to ream all the pivot holes once I bolt the frames together. So I'm gonna get that done, and hopefully today, and see what else I can get done. So I will keep you updated. Alright, well, we had a little bit of a setback today. Lost the counterbore. It just went dull on me finally. Thought I had a spare, but unfortunately I did not. So I'm going to try to sharpen it tomorrow. I don't know, I do that by hand and I usually don't have very good luck with it. So I just ordered 2 more of them. So it'll probably be a week or so before I get those. So unfortunately, I'm going to be a little delayed on, I just got done reaming the holes, now I got to counterbore them for the pivot head. I can probably do a few other things like milling in the grooves and stuff like that, but for the most part, just waiting on the counterbore, and then I'll start milling these grooves. Got to mill the reliefs, so I'll do that tomorrow, mill the reliefs, and then see what else I can do while I'm waiting. I'll probably bolt them together and grind profiles of them and straighten them out. So I'm gonna go put this video together and load it up for y'all. So yep, be done here shortly.